Okay, it says there's 2 people watching. So if you're watching, welcome! And also please comment in the chat so I know who's here. This is a great time because I'm still in the process of just finishing setting up. So this is a great time to go to the bathroom, get a writing utensil, get a journal or some papers, and to get some water. So you guys, if you even if you don't think you have to go to the bathroom, just go because it's better than having to miss anything. So yeah, go to the bathroom, get a candle if you have one, get a lighter if you have one, get some water, get ready. Why is it so dark? Why is the camera this dark? This is kind of surprising. Okay. Hey Sophie. Okay, I don't know if you heard me just say this, but I was just saying that I'm still in, it takes me a couple minutes to get exactly ready when I'm on live. So great time to go to the bathroom, get a water, get a pen, get a piece of paper, and to get a candle and a lighter. So I recommend doing that right now as I finish setting up this angle, because yesterday I was a little bit, I wouldn't say more prepared. Well, I guess I was more prepared. But I wanted to keep it going, so. All right, there are a few different changes from yesterday's setup to today's setup. All right, so can you guys hear me? I have the microphone set up, but I don't know if this is a good volume, if I'm too loud, if I'm too quiet. Just let me know in the comments. Also, please just message if you're watching so I know who's here. I have to keep saying this the first few times because people come in and out, but please, this is a good time to go to the bathroom, get a water, get a pen or pencil, get a piece of paper, get a lighter, and get a candle. Okay, so I'm just going to take a second to breathe because you know how it is, guys. The volume is great. Good, I have my little microphone right here. Can you hear that when I touch it? Okay, so my iPad is dead because yesterday I had Ahmaud Arbery's picture right here on my iPad, but it's still charging because I guess I didn't plug it in earlier. So sorry about that. We're just going to have to wait on that. Does everyone have a pen, a pencil, and you don't have to have a candle or lighter, but I'm just curious if anyone in here right now does have a candle and lighter that they're waiting to light, because I would like to all light them together if there is anyone that's waiting. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're watching. Pen, paper, candle, lighter. Yes. All right, let's start lighting the candles. So before I even start, I just want to point out that yesterday's live, if you haven't already watched my video, I had a candle in here that was in honor to Ahmaud Arbery, and it basically bursted this entire glass. So it was pretty powerful. I'm going to keep this glass as a tribute to Ahmaud right here, next to my tribute to Trayvon Martin. I always have Skittles in an Arizona in my art studio. That's just something that I've started that makes me remember why I create art, just in Trayvon Martin's honor. So without further ado, let's light these candles to officially start this live. So if you have a candle, here we go, guys. And if you don't have a candle, that's fine. Just in case you have one and want to light it with me. Hey guys, thanks for writing in the chat. If you're watching this, please write in the live chat, not the comments. Okay, time to work my hemp. I don't know if this candle's even gonna light again, because this one's on its last, there's not much left to it. So I unfortunately don't have a candle to have as a tribute to Sean Reed, who we're honoring tonight, especially. So I'm just gonna put my energy, if there is a candle, it's gonna be this one, because this one is white, and white candles usually resemble loss. It's also the smallest candle, and I just feel like that's the one. Not that I'm expecting to like summon him or anything like that. I just like to have one candle, especially in tribute to whoever we're honoring. So this candle right here, if you ever want to focus your attention on it, that's for Sean Reed. So please answer in the chat, have you guys heard of Sean Reed's passing? I know that with Ahmaud Arbery, it's hard to keep up on everything. It's been brought to my awareness that this actually happened kind of like before Ahmaud Arbery's like exposure kind of blew up. So yeah, you guys have heard of him. So Sean Reed. Oh, you know what? That's amazing timing. Right as I said Sean Reed, my iPad lit up, as in that it's charged, or that it started its charging process. So I'm gonna Google his picture just so you guys can have an image. Even though I'm sure you've probably already seen some, I just want to pull up a fresh image to keep with us for this. And if you're watching from home right now, just make sure you have water, make sure you have a pen, make sure you have paper, all that good stuff. If you have to go to the bathroom, do it. Let's see, Sean Reed, search. Let's see, the divine timing. That was the divine timing. Right when I said his name, my iPad lit up. Okay, I'm gonna pull up an image of him just so we can all know what the person that we're remembering or celebrating the life of looks like. So basically, I haven't done as much research as I would like to. Let's see if I can fit this in here. I haven't done as much research as I would like to on his case. Honestly, it's just about finding that balance. And with everything that happened yesterday with the live and with Run for Mod and everything, I haven't been able to give him the proper, it's weird, this stayed up yesterday. I haven't been able to give him the proper amount of attention, honestly. So I don't know a lot of details about his case. I just know the gist. So this is him right here. My iPad is still charging, so it's not the most perfect angle of the picture, but this right here is, sorry, I'm trying to make sure you guys have a good angle. Once we kind of get going, there's less problems like this. So this is Sean Reed. He is a victim of police brutality. He was driving through Indianapolis and was speeding, and he caught himself in a chase with, I believe it was 3 officers that were chasing him. And I don't know all of the details, as I told you, so please do your own research as well. But from what I've seen online was that he served our country. He did a year in Air Force, and you would think that, the same country that you serve would honor you, but that's not the case for Black lives. And I want to put my angel cards right next to him. I don't really like the way that looks. And so he was, speeding, and the cops, he was scared for his life, as any person of color is when the cops are involved. And just because he was speeding doesn't validate death, okay? He was speeding, and they chased him, and he went on Facebook Live because he knew that they were hunting him. That's essentially what it is. At this point, they're killing for sport. And if you don't see it that way, that police officers have been killing for sport, you need to wake up, because they are. We are dear to them. We really are. And he went on Facebook Live, and he started saying, "Help me." He started naming the street he was on. I think it was 62nd or 65th. He was telling everyone, I watched part of the video, "This is the street I'm on. This is the street I'm on. Help me. Please come meet me," whatever. And eventually, he got out of the car and started running for his life. Like I said, they hunt us. And the police officers, they shot him 10 to 13 times. Some sources say 10, some say 13. The video I've seen, you hear at least 10 bullets. They shot an unarmed 21-year-old African-American man who served our country 10 times at least. And he didn't have any guns. He was completely unarmed. All he was doing was speeding and fearing for his life, which he should have, because clearly he had a reason to be afraid. So After the officers shot him, this is the part that lingers with me the most. After the officer shot him, if you watch the Facebook Live video, they didn't know he was recording. They didn't know he was recording, so you hear an officer come closer to his dead body. He died moments ago. Fatally shot, police brutality, and he goes, and this officer goes and looks at him and says to his other officer jokingly, "Looks like it's going to be a closed casket, homie." Looks like it's going to be a closed casket, homie, because they shot him that many times that no one will want to look at him because they think it's funny, because they make jokes about us. They literally think that our deaths is a punchline. These are the people that are supposed to protect us, who we all know don't protect us. They protect white people. That's the police job, is to protect white people. And if you just so happen to be a person of color that gets protected, wow, great chances. You know, it's really a tragedy, and that's why we're honoring him tonight. It's how many deaths, how many names, how many hashtags, how long will this go on until we find justice, till they stop hunting us, until they stop shooting us for sport, until we aren't joked about the second after we're fatally shot by police brutality. It's just unbelievable to me. Well, it's completely believable to me, but I wish it were unbelievable, because this is the world that we live in. This is the reality. So for tonight, we're going to be doing journaling. Last night, if you tuned in, please comment, because I like to know who's doing the whole weekend. Last night we did meditation, and it was more of a time for grieving, just overall just crying and just feeling all of our feelings and just having that open space. And I think that while it's hard, last night was incredibly healing. I'm glad to hear it. That's what we needed. We needed to heal. This whole weekend is about healing. But last night we needed to grieve as much as we needed to, and that's what last night was about. But tonight is all about, now that we've grieved, we need to change. We need to see change. We need to make actions, make changes in our lives, and that's what tonight's about. We're going to be journaling for justice. Hashtag journaling #4 justice. Use that hashtag to spread awareness. We're going to be kind of like, it's almost like a forum that we're going to discuss ways that we can really actually see changes. And I'm talking about things that are what you might consider small to things that are large scale. We need to focus our energy in creating a solid list. There are 6 people watching this right now. The 6 of us can come together to create a solid list of things, changes that we can actually make during quarantine in our lives, starting tomorrow, to promote Black Lives Matter every day, every single day. We need to live by Black Lives Matters in everything we're doing, even if it's minuscule. So, does anyone have a piece of paper and a writing utensil? I'm moving this because I want to see if I can write the prompt in here, if it will stay. So I'm just going to do a testing, because when you do Instagram Live, you can pin things so they'll stay at the top, but you can't pin things on here, it looks like. No. Okay, so apparently you cannot pin things, so that's all right. I'll just repeat the prompt a couple times when we do it. So last night we kind of stayed silent for an hour. We did an hour-long meditation in honor. Tonight is going to be a little bit different. Like I said, we're going to be more so looking for actions. So this is the time to grab your notebook or whatever you're going to be using and open it up. So get ready to write the prompts. I mean, we're going to do 1 to 3 prompts. I'm just going to really just take it as it goes. Like, if it's going well and we want to do more prompts, we can do more, but I only have one that I for certain want us to do to start. So get ready to write the prompt, and you might be able to remember it and don't want to write it, but just in case, because I can't keep it pinned up. So just get ready to write the prompt, and someone just let me know when you're ready in the chat so I can say the prompt, and I'll be writing it too so I can keep up with you guys. So just let me know when you're ready to write the prompt, anyone in the chat. Ready. Okay. So the prompt is the first prompt. I'm literally writing the word prompt because I like to write the word prompt before my prompts. Okay. So the prompt is, I'm going to say it out loud before I start writing it with you guys. What are changes that may seem small even that we can do every day to support Black Americans? So I'm going to write it and say it again. What are changes that may seem small? And I want large scale changes too. I just want you guys to do everything from small to large. So what are changes that may seem small that we can make in our lives to, I don't know if I should say promote or demonstrate, whichever one you prefer, to promote Black Lives Matter So what are changes that may seem small that we can make in our lives to promote Black Lives Matter and to keep Black Americans alive? Okay. Oh, did you type it? Okay. It says, what are changes that may seem small that we can make in our lives to promote Black Lives Matter and to keep Black Americans alive? I'm going to write and safe, because sometimes you're alive, but you don't feel safe. And it's important for us to feel safer in the world that we're living in. So, one more time, what are changes that may seem small that we can make in our lives to promote Black Lives Matter and to keep Black Americans alive and safe? So, the time is now 9:17. So, at 9:18, basically when I finish talking, I want you to just write as many as you can think of. And I'm going to give you a couple examples just right now so that you have an idea of like the type of changes I'm talking about. And I want to hear everything that you guys think of, but I'm just going to give you an example one. So one example, something I was speaking about a lot yesterday, was that we need to vote smarter. We need to know every single name on the election, every single name on the ballot, every single time we walk into the polls, because we need to know who is racist and who isn't. Who has worn blackface? Who has worn a MAGA hat? We need to know these people, because if we're not voting against the racist people, we're basically voting for them. So that's one example. And then one more example for you guys that I had was to rethink the celebrities that you follow, because the celebrities that aren't promoting, or not promoting, but the celebrities that don't share about Black deaths, like Ahmaud and like Sean, are celebrities that aren't doing enough for us. They don't care about the Black community, so we shouldn't care about them. If they're not going to show out for us and use their voice, because they have millions of followers, if they're not going to use their voice, what's the point? So those are just two examples I have, but I want you to make a list of anything you can think of. Just keep brainstorming, and it could seem as small as, I'm trying to think of something that might be small, because everything isn't small, because the thing is that it all adds up. Even if it seems small, it isn't, because it can reshape the way someone thinks. So I wouldn't even consider anything small, but like maybe like telling your white friend to stop saying the N-word in her favorite Kanye West song. Maybe having that conversation as a white person, even if it's uncomfortable, because these are little like microaggressions that lead, it's like an endless rabbit hole of hate. And it just keeps perpetrating, even when it's unintentional. So those are something that might seem small, but we're going to create a list, and I want us to do this for, I want to say 10 or 15 minutes. So let's check in 10 minutes and see if we need more time. So the time is now 9:20. I'm actually going to put my microphone on mute, and I'm going to play music. Excuse me, but you guys won't be able to hear it because I'll get copyright claimed. So I really recommend that if you want to use music, you just grab your phone and put on Spotify, because I'm going to mute this. I don't even know where my phone, oh, it's in my lap, because I'm going to mute this for the 10 minutes that we do this. None of the white friends are allowed to say the N-word near me, even if it's in a song. Same. They know this by now, but I'm saying that other white people need to say that. So we're going to get started. We're going to do 10 minutes at least. I'm going to mute my microphone, so play music if you want to, and we'll catch back at 9:30, okay? And we'll see if we need more time. So start your list, every single thing you can think of. Nothing is too small. Let's get started, guys. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me because you might be jamming to your own music, but I think we need more time. I would like some confirmation. I feel like I can keep writing, so I would like to do another 10 minutes to keep brainstorming other ways. Do you guys feel like you have more that you can say, or do you feel like you've kind of done everything? Please let me know in the live chat if you feel like you can continue to brainstorm, because I feel like I can continue to brainstorm, but I don't know if I'm the only one. So just let me know if you want to keep going, because I would like to keep going, but I don't want to force anyone to keep brainstorming on something that they don't feel they have anything to say about. So yeah, I would like to continue brainstorming for another 10 minutes on this topic. I just want to hear some feedback. So even if it's just one person, keep brainstorming. All right, that's the confirmation I needed. So we're going to do 10 more minutes. We'll meet back at 9:40. Keep brainstorming, guys. Keep these ideas coming, okay? Okay, so Olivia said, I'd like to hear ideas of what everyone's thinking. So let's stop the brainstorm. We're going to continue in a minute, but why don't we all just share one idea, okay? And then we can continue. So we can all share one idea. I'm going to share one of mine. So the last one that I wrote was promote pro-Black foundations on your birthday on Facebook. Because yes, it seems tacky to promote foundations and to ask people to donate for you on your birthday, but I did it this past October, and I did it for the Unprison Project, which is a pro-Black foundation which helps struggling mothers of color that come out of jail to not recreate, but to kind of like get assistance into the adjustment back to life. So that's one idea I wrote. I would love for you all just to write one. Just share one idea that you had, and then we can like see where we're at and then keep going. So just to repeat, in case you guys didn't hear me, mine was to promote pro-Black foundations on your birthday on Facebook. If everyone would feel so willing to share one more idea in the live chat, just because that was requested, then we could continue going. So type away, please, if you're listening. Another idea I had, my idea, donate if you can to campaigns that need funds to keep bringing awareness. That's a good idea. Yeah, definitely. 100%. Like there's like funds that, they're very established, but the funds that probably need us most are the ones that are less established, that people know less about, because we need to bring awareness to them, and we need to keep supporting them and keeping them alive, basically, because we just need to promote the smaller ones to help them become bigger ones. If anyone else would like to share one of the things they wrote, Erin, Sophie, Olivia, I don't know who else is in here. Olivia, educate yourself on institutional racism, as it has a lot to do with how neighborhoods are developed and why it can be difficult for Black people to have good resources. That's a good one. I'm going to add that to my list because that's important. A lot of white people that I've talked to that have had a very privileged life, they don't really understand what institutional racism is, because the problem with our education system is that to be educated on the bigger issues, usually you have to go to college or you have to choose it yourself. So high schools don't talk about this kind of stuff. Let's see. Organize fundraisers in your community to raise awareness for NAACP and the like, and to bring awareness to the community. That's a great one. All right. If Erin or Sophie or any of the other people that are watching that haven't spoken at all yet in this chat would like to share one of yours, just one more or two more shares would be great before we continue brainstorming for another 10 minutes. But I like these ones a lot. This is great. This is why we're doing this, because you guys are saying some ones I haven't thought of yet. This is how we do better. We come together, we elaborate, and then we make change. So this is what I like to see. I'm going to give it like last call if anyone wants to share one more in the chat before we continue to write, and then share all of them at the end. So last call, if you want to share yours right now. Otherwise, I'm about to throw this microphone on mute, and we're going to do another 10 minutes. So let's see, I know I already spoke, but supporting Black-owned businesses. I was literally about to write about that. I was going to write about we need to support Black-owned businesses in every capacity. We need to support Black restaurants. We need to support Black barbershops. We need to support Black hairdressers. We need to support Black just everything. Convenience stores, Black grocery stores. Post something every day on your page to inform your followers who are not looking for this information. That's a great one. All right, guys, we're going, but I want us to write more, and then we'll discuss every single one that we have. So it's 9:34. We're going to go until 9:45. So I'm going to mute my microphone so I can play my music without getting copyright claims. And you can play your music, and we're going to come together at 9:45 and discuss. Thank you guys for sharing so far and for participating. Hello. Hi, guys. Do we need another minute to finish up, or do we feel good where we're at right now? She says, Olivia goes, I forgot that we aren't in the same room, and I smiled at you when you looked up. That's probably like one of the cutest things that has been said in these lives. That's what I want, is to feel like we are truly together. And that's what happened last night. And that's what I'm starting to feel now. And that's what I want. I literally just jumped when you said hello. I could move on to another topic. Okay, well, we're not going to move on to another topic because I want us to discuss the topic and then to move on. So we're going to have a discussion now. So I want to create like a list of everything that all of us wrote. If your handwriting is legible, if you could send me a picture of your list, that would be great. But I'm going to read my list in its entirety just because I'm on live. And then after I read my list, I would like you to add in everything that you didn't hear from your list, just to avoid, repetition. And I'm going to go like this. This is the best part about you guys doing this, is that it's a collective list. The things I won't think of, you'll think of. The things you didn't think of, I'll think of. So the prompt was, what are changes that may seem small that we can make in our lives to promote Black Lives Matter and to keep Black Americans alive and safe? So I'm going to read what I wrote. And then after I read my list, please list everything that you didn't hear. Okay. Correct white people and non-Black people when they say the N-word or any offensive speech. And that goes for all of the hate words. The N-word, the R-word, the F word, the G word, the ones. Just correct all of it, because, and that's the thing, is that we need to support Black lives, and we need to support queer lives and trans lives, because trans Black people are targeted the most. Usually, I would say that trans Black people are dying, and their deaths seem less important to the media. So we need to support trans people, we need to support queer people, we need to support Black people, we need to support any minority, any and all. Okay. Rethink who you follow on social media. I already kind of talked about that. Call out celebrities with large followings who haven't posted anything yet. If I told you guys yesterday on my live that when Sarah Jessica Parker went live, I wrote in her chat like 8 times when there's like 1,000 people, and I said, are you going to talk about Ahmaud Arbery? Because it was yesterday. And she definitely read it because she made like an awkward noise and then didn't respond. So we need to call out these celebrities. If she doesn't post anything about it, I'm going to unfollow her, because we need to stop following people who don't care about Black lives. Why do we care about people that don't care about us? Why do we care about people that don't care about everyone? Know every name on the ballot every election. Already talked about that. We need to know who's wearing those MAGA hats. We need to know who's doing blackface. We need to know everything. So, Erin wrote, reaching out to local Black organizations, such organizers in your community to see what you can do to help. Yep. So I think that's on my list, but you guys, please rate yours right after I finish reading my whole list, just in case there's any repetition. Okay, so the next one I wrote was, post about unjust Black deaths, police brutality, and any injustice that people of color face on a daily basis. That's the hard one, is that a lot of people have a hard time posting about this daily, but guess what? Black people are fearing their lives almost every moment of every day when they're in public, so I think the least we can do is share something every day. Let's see. Hashtag run with Maud. Join the protest, guys. I already preached about this all yesterday, and if you want to know anything else, I can let you know about Run with Maud. Educate those who are out of the, this is one that I thought was interesting. Educate those who are out of the quote-unquote woke loop. So I don't consider my grandmother to be part of the woke loop, because she doesn't have Facebook, she doesn't have social media, she just sits in her house all day and watches, like CNN. She's not, watching the right stuff. She's not aware. So I always tell her when things happen. That's why we need to educate those people who are not in the woke loop, especially elder people and white people. Hold our friends and family to higher standards and hold them accountable for promoting Black Lives Matter. It's not enough to just not be racist. It really isn't. It isn't. You need to be anti-racist. You need to be pro-Black. You need to be actively trying to do what you can. following / liking local groups that stand with Black Lives Matter. So there's like a Boston branch of NAACP. There's lots of like Boston branches and local branches and groups of larger organizations for Black lives. So find the local ones and support them, especially if you're in a predominantly white area. Contacting, emailing, or calling local representatives on a regular basis to voice concerns and spread awareness. You can send an email a week. That's, just do it on a somewhat regular basis. Sign and share petitions for change on a regular basis. Continue to say their names on a regular basis. I heard a quote once that said, "You die 2 times. You die the day that your life is taken away from you, and you die the last time someone says your name, because that is your legacy." So we will keep Ahmaud Arbery and Sean Reed's legacy going. We will continue to talk about them because they did not deserve to die. We need to talk about them after next week. We need to continue talking about them for the rest of our lives because they don't have a rest of their lives. Okay, this is one that I actually wanted to create. Oh my gosh, hey Martel, thanks for joining. So this is one that I might actually make the next prompt question for the next prompt. So let me know if you jive with this question. Acknowledge all of your privileges. This means geographical, this means race, this means religion, this means class, this means every single privilege you've ever had. Acknowledge all of your privileges and find ways to use them to Black people's advantages. Your white privilege has served you. Now it's time to use it to serve people that it needs to. Okay? You need to use your white privilege and your white voice and everything like that to promote Black Lives Matter and to protect us. So I wanted to make that one the next prompt, maybe that we could like list every single privilege we've had or we have, and we could name a way that we can use that to promote Black Lives Matter. For an example, I am biracial, so I have white family that I can talk to about this issue. That's like one example, basically. Call out bigotry of every capacity. Buy apparel and donate to pro-Black foundations. Promote pro-Black foundations on your birthday on Facebook. I already told you guys that one. Support Black businesses and post about it. Supporting them is great, but we need to post about it because they don't get as much social media attention. We need to post about every time you buy, a coffee from the Black coffee shop. You need to just post it in your story. Just spread awareness because they need you guys to stay in business, especially with all the bigots out there. So we need to post every time, even if you can't go there to support them, still post about them, still share that you like, whatever they're selling or their food or whatever it is. So Yelp, social media, and Google pages, write reviews for Black-owned businesses that you enjoy. You need to go on Yelp or Google. I recommend Google. Google is a good one to go through. And just write a review. You need to promote it because a lot of Black places will just get racist reviews. We need to do more and to actively promote Black businesses and everything like that. Educate yourself and friends and family about institutional racism and how it continues to repress Black people. Same goes for white privilege. So that one Olivia basically brought up. Watch as much. Okay, this one is one that I'm doing actively. So this is what I mean. You have to do like at least one thing a day. And it should be more than that. Like clearly I'm doing more today, but one thing that I can say I did yesterday is that I wanted to watch Frasier to go to sleep because it's calming to me. But instead I put on Living Single, the Black show, because the next question says, watch as much, if not more, Black television and film as you do non-Black television and film. That is important because it is so hard for us to get represented in television and film. And television and film is one of the main things that kind of continues or perpetrates the stereotypes. There's such a lack of honest representation in television and film. You've been watching Living Single too? Cool. Nice. There's just such a lack of representation that we need to watch what is available in order to have more opportunities for Black people to create television and film. As opposed to watching Friends, watch Living Single. That's something I started doing because I found out like a few months ago that Living Single came out the same time as Friends a week before, but they were denied lots of marketing and they basically, had to deal with a lot of racism because, oh, great, Sophie, nice. They didn't get to have the Friends experience. Friends made it to 9 seasons. Living Single made it to like 4 or 5 because they were Black at that time. So any other good suggestions? I can make a whole list. I can make a whole video. I will, if you want, of all Black television and film that I recommend. But one of the biggest ones that comes to mind that I was talking about today is the movie Sorry to Bother You. It's with Lakeith Stanfield and it's on Hulu, and it is great. Atlanta, you already know, Aaron, I love Atlanta. So yeah, Atlanta, Sorry to Bother You, Living Single, A Different World. Let's keep the list going. As I like slow down for some reason. All of Jordan Peele's films. You guys can comment down some of your favorite. Watching a lot of older movies that focus on Black casts are really eye-opening, I found. On all Black casts, yes, hell yes. Spike Lee. Watch Spike Lee's work. Thank you, Erin, for bringing this to my awareness. Watch Do the Right Thing. Watch Malcolm X on Netflix. Watch anything that you can find, really. Black Lightning, yeah, I've heard that's a good one. There's so much. I can make a video or I can make a post just listing them for you guys because that's kind of like a whole different topic. But watch and support Black television and film. That is one of the most, like, they're all important, but that's something that speaks to me especially because I always felt that there was a lack of representation. And this is starting to happen. I'm surprised you haven't said Moonlight. Oh, how could I forget Moonlight? That's my favorite Black film of all time. Watch Moonlight. Thank you. Moonlight is probably my favorite Black film to ever exist. It's on Netflix. It won Movie of the Year in 2016. Watch Moonlight. But basically, I'll create a list or a video listing a ton of Black television because it is really important that we rethink what we watch. I used to fall into the routine of watching Friends, The Office, Parks and Rec. I'll watch them, like, I've seen The Office at least 15 times through, and that's not an exaggeration. What could I have been doing with that time? I could have been watching all of Living Single. I could have been watching all of A Different World. That's the thing, is that I'm going to actively try to stop rewatching white television. And when I do find myself wanting to rewatch white television, to instead watch Black television. Because we need to break the pattern. We need to think about the actions that we're doing. We need to support Black people. Excuse me, I have hiccups. In every capacity. So the next one on my list is actively research injustice towards people of color and Black people. Just research. Like, it's not going to come up on your timeline always. You have to, like, research it yourself because someone's got to start that thread of bring it to awareness. Become aware of your biases and prejudices and how those shape your thoughts and actions. We all have biases. None of us are perfect. We can't help it. We are only products of our past. So we need to, this was another one I was thinking about making a journal prompt, so you guys can, like, let me know which one you like better, but identify the prejudices that we have and do better. Let's see. Meditate after every Black death. I'm going to try to hold meditations regularly or just general, like, healing spaces, but that's another one. Hashtag cancel celebrities. Kanye West is dead to me. And that's controversial, but I don't care because he said some things that were completely offensive to me. And I know he's mentally ill, but that's the thing, is that he's a celebrity. If it was my brother who's mentally ill, I would have said, okay, that's my brother. But Kanye West is not my brother. You know what I'm saying? They're celebrities at the end of the day. We mean, as a person, Christiana Orcel means nothing to Kanye West. He doesn't know who we are. If he says something that bothers me, or if any celebrity says something that's racist that bothers you, or anything like that, cancel them. Because celebrities, they didn't earn our endless love and admiration. We idolize them. And the thing is that you can appreciate a celebrity's work of music and not appreciate the celebrity. We need to detach the artist from the person and also stop supporting people that don't serve us and that don't fight for us. So I'm all for canceling celebrities because I think that we idolize celebrities too much as a society. Okay, let's see. Destroy the pedestal. Yeah, kick the pedestal down. We need to instead be following Black activists, Black artists. We just need to be doing more and to stop following the Kim Kardashians of the world. They're the worst. I mean, not the worst, but, you know, they're not serving us in any way. If anything, they're just appropriating us and profiting off of it. We are the pedestal. Fuck yes, Martel. I love that. We are the pedestal. Yeah. Okay. Become aware of your biases and prejudice. Oh, I already said that one. Okay. Volunteer in predominantly Black areas. Volunteering is good, but we need to volunteer where there are people of color and Black people that need us. Urge others to speak up, especially white people. That is important, that white people speak up, because the white people that are hunting us, they're only going to listen to white people. They're not going to listen to us. They're not going to listen to me. They think we're animals. They think we're savages. They think we're idiots. They're not going to listen to us. They might listen to a fucking white person telling them. So white people need to speak up and do more. Regularly check NAACP and Black Lives Matter's websites and social media to stay up to date. Sign up for their newsletters. That's a good one, is to sign up for newsletters. Unfollow the Kardashians/Jenners was on my list. Thank you. Specifically, I didn't put specific celebrities, but unfollow the Kardashians and Jenners. I have them blocked, and I urge you to do that. I have them blocked because they will still show up on your newsfeed. They'll show up in your discovery page. I don't want to see them, so I block them. Don't be afraid to block celebrities that you want to see less of. For real, especially the freaking Jenners. Okay. Report racism when you witness it. So when you see something and you see, this is just a vague example that I've seen in Boston. You see a black person not get allowed into the club and it's all fabricated. Oh, you're wearing the wrong sneakers. It's just because they're black. Instead of just feeling upset, you need to call the manager of that club. You need to put it on Twitter. You need to put it on blast. We need to make a bigger deal out of the smaller things, because they only perpetrate to bigger things. Go out of your way to support Black artists and artists of color. It's a good one. Stick around and film when you see a Black person being followed, harassed, or instigated. When I watched Ahmaud Arbery's NAACP rally of his family talking, his aunt was crying and said, all I wish is that I was around that corner, that I was somehow there to stop it. We need to linger. If we see something, we need to stay and we need to film it, and we need to, especially white people, need to say something, because we can't live under that. It's not my problem anymore. All Black people's problems are our problems. We need to linger and this is another one on my list, be super vigilant of your surroundings. When I'm on the train, I think that's when I'm the most super vigilant. And that's why I stopped taking the train in Boston. When I lived in Boston, I started taking Uber pools instead, because I saw too much racism and it was bothering me. But I'm mad at myself, because what I should have done was to stay and to report and to defend and to videotape those acts of racism, instead of just feeling upset every time. We need to linger, be super vigilant, and keep our cameras ready. Okay. Let's see. Be super vigilant of your surroundings, said that one. Accommodate your Black friends and strangers' wishes and requests, even when they aren't expressed verbally. I touched on this yesterday. Like I said, the little things, they go a long way. My white friends, every time we go to a restaurant, because we go out to eat a lot, anytime we go to a cafe, anytime we go to sit anywhere in public, they typically let me sit first and pick my seat. And if they don't, I know that I can always ask, hey, would you mind if I sat in that seat? Because as Black people, we don't feel safe in public. We don't feel safe with our back to the doors, because that's how we get shot dead. So it's really important just to be aware of Black people's requests, especially strangers, when they don't even say it. When you see someone eyeballing the seat that you kind of wanted, give it to them, because they don't want their backs to the doors, because they could die. So just little things like that. Because I really appreciate when my friends offer me to sit first. Corner seat is always yours, boo. You already know. That's the thing, is like, if you have good friends, they already know. They already know the deal. They just stand and let you pick your seat. Create safe spaces for people of color to heal, which is something I'm doing right now, which I'm happy about. Don't invalidate a person of color's perspective when you don't understand it. That's important, because I felt invalidated by white people most of my life. Stop invalidating us. Racism is alive and well. It's there. I hate when people tell me that racism isn't there. It's like, you must be pretty lucky to live a life where you think racism isn't there, because Sean Reed wasn't lucky enough. And that's why he's dead. Okay, this is the last one I had on my list. So you can start generating in comments the ones that I didn't say, and you can put them. If you want to put all of yours into one list, that might be easier. like into one message. This is the last one I had on my list before the time went out. Stop using words like ratchet and ghetto, and stop saying the expression, it's like crack. And correct strangers when they do. That's important. Last time me and Erin and Jackie went out to French Toast Place. What is it called? That breakfast place in Burlington. I think, French Toast. What is that place called? It's like a breakfast spot, and they make a lot of French toast and stuff. Happy Pancake, Happy Toast. Okay, we went to Happy Toast, and our waitress. The thing is that once you start listening, you can't stop, and that's why we need to start listening. Oh shit! One of the things I didn't have on my list was to read Black artists' books, novels, and poetry, and novellas, and scripts. Sorry about that. I totally skipped that one, but we need to read the work of Black artists. Okay, so back to what I was saying about the French Toast Place is that our waitress was this white girl, and like we were all like low key like crushing on her because she was beautiful. So we're like, "You're so beautiful," and I remember I asked her like her opinion on one of the waffles at this waffle place. And I'll never forget that she goes, "Oh my God, I love that one." I think it was like the red velvet. She's like, "I love the red velvet. Oh my gosh, it's like crack." Bitch, you don't know what crack is like? Stop saying it's like crack. Just say it's addictive. Stop saying it's like crack. Just stop saying it, because especially white people, like, I mean, we all need to stop saying it, but when white people say it, that you can tell they've never even like, they have no idea of like how crack actually like holds us back, and how like all of those type of things, and how like many lives it's like just completely tainted and everything like that. It just hurts. Like our struggle and our addictions that are brought on by the government are not a punchline. Stop making experiences by Black people punchlines. When I heard ghetto, I got so uncomfortable. And I always love to challenge people that say that. I would say 9 times out of 10 that someone says ghetto, it's because they're saying it in a stereotypical way that's offensive to Black people. Black Gita, yes, Martell is in this group chat, and he is the author of a poetry book that I illustrated called Black Gita. Definitely support Black artists and poets and authors by getting that when it's available. Let's see. Oh my God, the expression crackhead is so popular now. I hate it. Yeah, stop saying crackhead. Oh my God, I look like a crackhead. No, you don't. You look like a fucking privileged piece of shit. That's what you look like. You look ignorant. Stop saying that. Okay, that was my list that I got done in the 20 minutes that we did. Now it's time for you guys to share. It's mind-boggling to see how crack addiction was dealt with a black, I read that wrong. It's mind-boggling to see how crack addiction was dealt with Why am I so bad at reading this one comment? Oh my God. I'm sorry, guys. It's mind-boggling to see how crack addiction was dealt with while back versus how opiate addiction. Oh my God, don't even get me started. The way that Black people are seen for going on welfare, or for having any drug problem or substance abuse or crack addiction or anything like that, compared to how white people are coddled for having an opiate addiction, it just completely demonstrates white privilege. That's all it does. They told us to get over it, and then they create treatment centers for them. So it's not fair. Okay, so that was my complete list. If there is anything I didn't list, I would love for you to say it now. And if you could send me a picture of your list, because I want to create... Why do I have such bad hiccups? This burger got the best of me. I want to create like a super list of everyone that joined this, so that we can have a super list of just go-to ones, and then you can kind of look at it like once a week or every few days just to remind yourself. Oh, and how about everyone who shits on welfare but now is quiet because everyone lost their jobs? Exactly. They want to shit on us, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, my stimulus check. Oh my God, my $600, blah, blah. Fuck you. Like, it's just very upsetting. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to come off angry, but last night's live was more sad. This is more action-packed. Like, what actions can we take? So I'm just feeling passionate. I hope you guys don't mistake that as like me being super angry. And that's another thing. Of course, I always have to clarify that I'm not an angry Black woman because fucking stereotypes. Okay. If you guys could please comment some that you had. I think Erin actually commented some, but I didn't read them because I was in the middle of reading, so I'm going to start reading those. Reaching out to local Black organizers and organizations in your community to see what you can do to help. Listening to victims and families and communities. Listen to victims' families and communities affected by violence to see what they're asking for in terms of justice. That is one of the most important ones. We can't assume that we know. We need to listen to what they want. When I listened to the NAACP rally for Ahmaud Arbery, his family said, we want you to post about Run with Maud as much as you can. So that's what I did. If they didn't want us to make it like that big, we wouldn't. We need to listen to what they want because they're the ones who are suffering more than anyone else. Understanding structural racism beyond just police brutality. That's it right there. That's it right there. Confronting microaggression and racist language in the moment rather than just letting it slide. That's one of the hardest ones, I think, to do on a regular basis because it comes to a point where you're like, I don't want to have to educate this many people every day. But you know what? We're alive. And we need to keep other people alive by educating each other. Okay, now I'm just reading these comments again. Let's see. Oh, okay. It's fair and justified to be angry. Thank you. I really appreciate that, to be honest. You good. You're so appreciated, Yana. Oh, thank you. Christmas crack. But it's just saltines with toffee and chocolate. Is there actually a dessert called Christmas crack? Because that's upsetting. Oh my god, Christmas crack. What the hell? Oh god, that I don't even want to get into Christianity right now because a lot of it is rooted in hate, which is ironic. I feel like there's two types of Christians. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's the ones that care about everyone and the ones that care about what it says in the Bible. So, all right. I'm waiting to hear some more of you guys. Please type up. Okay, I know it's like annoying to type up everyone from your list. So if you could just type up some of the most important ones that you listed that weren't said or addressed in any way yet and message that. And then if you could send me pictures of your full list later on and I'll create the full list and send it to everyone that participated in this. The only Christ I want is Christiana. Sorry. That's funny. That's funny. Thank you. I needed some comic relief. So please just type in one of your most, one of the ones that you wrote on your list that wasn't addressed in any capacity, or if it was addressed, it wasn't addressed properly. Like, please just, whichever ones you guys think we didn't even talk about that, please write it in. And then after, like I said, please send me your full list so I can create the master list that we can all have a copy of and have on Google Drive or whatever it is. So please, please, please write in the live chat what you wrote that wasn't addressed. You covered it all and more. Oh, I did? You're also allowed to be angry. Have you guys listened to the song Mad by Solange? Got a lot to be mad about. To be honest, I think mine were all addressed. Okay, I just want everyone to let me know if theirs were addressed. Shalom. So I'm just going to give this as like a last call. Is there anything that wasn't addressed? Please tell me. Please comment it in. Anything that we can do, actions that we can take to promote Black Lives Matter and to make Black people feel safe and to keep them alive. This is like my last call. If you have anything on your list that wasn't addressed, and please don't forget to send me your list because I want to make the master list. So I want to hear some feedback. Before we get into the next prompt, let's kind of digest what we just talked about. Is there any comments? This is like your time because I'm trying not to make this a lecture. I'm trying to make this a conversation. So is there any comments that you guys want to say or anything that you want to further address before we kind of start rolling this ball while we're still talking about this? And for those of you that are just tuning in, we are honoring the lives of Ahmaud Arbery and Sean Reed, who both died because of racism and hate. So please let me know if you have any other comments before we go to the next journal prompt. This is Journaling for Justice. We're just trying to get together and brainstorm ways that we can all do better and then we can make other people do better. So that's kind of what this is all about. Yesterday we were meditating. This is kind of more of like, what actions can we take? And then tomorrow we're going to get creative. Tomorrow, like yesterday was the sad part. Today is like the let's make change part through actions. But tomorrow's a specific action, which is just by creating art. And that's another one that I should have added to my list. Create art that promotes the change you want to see in the world. And that's something that I've always wanted to do more of. And I didn't feel like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was that I didn't feel comfortable enough to post that kind of stuff, or that I just wasn't there yet. But I want to continue to make artwork that is just for social change, that promotes social change, that brings awareness, things of that nature, because that's what it's all about. Yes, create art. I'm definitely tuning in. We just need to create art that's what tomorrow's all about. Creating art. Today we're listing what we can do. Tomorrow we're all going to get together at this time at 9 o'clock and we're going to draw. I don't care if you're an awful artist. There is no awful artist. Fun fact. You only get better every time you do it. So when you say you're an awful artist, all you're doing is blocking yourself and standing in your own way. Making art that makes people uncomfortable is so freeing. I completely agree. I want you to feel as uncomfortable as I feel as a Black American. And by you, I mean white America. That Trayvon painting you did. Oh, I'm still working on the Trayvon painting. I haven't finished that. It's nowhere near being done. If it makes someone uncomfortable, it did what it needed to do. That's 100% true. If your artwork makes someone uncomfortable, it means that your message was heard. Great work, everyone. Yeah, great work. Thanks for brainstorming, everyone. This has been fun. Olivia, your art is captivating. I agree. All right, last time I'm going to ask if there's any comments before we start talking about what we're going to do for the next prompt, because I have 2 ideas, and I just want to hear which one we want to do more, basically. I see that we have 7 people watching right now, but we only have like 4 or 5 people active in the chat. So if you haven't talked, you are more than welcome to join the conversation, even if you don't know who any of us are, as long as you're not a troll. And I say this because we got multiple trolls in here yesterday with very offensive accounts, names, that were making jokes about deaths. I actually have a question regarding art, please. Okay, yes, please talk about that question. I mean, please ask that question. But before we get into that, I meant to add this to my list, was that we need to, something that I'm actively going to try to do is to call out white artists who use Black people or who portray Black people, who make art that features people of color who haven't spoken up, who haven't said Black Lives Matter. If you're going to benefit, if your artwork, if your company, if your business is going to benefit from depicting Black people, you can stand up with us. That's something that bothers me, is when I see white artists that are like, that mostly feature white artwork, and then they have like random Black people when it's convenient, and they never support Black people, or they drew a lot of Black drawings because it's popular, but they don't support Black people. Okay, Olivia, what was your question? The troll made me so mad. I was fuming. Telling your Black friends you love them and that you were there for them. It's a good one. And I appreciate it because I know that you guys do that and it is appreciated. Okay, the cringe kid. Sean Reed had a gun on his left side. The officer tased him. Sean fell and pulled out his gun. So the officer started firing. If you listen to them shooting, you can hear the different guns firing. All right. I have a comment. Could Reed's death been avoided by simply pulling over? It's not trolling or being offensive. It's just a question. Obviously, there's no answer for that. Those are trolls. I know there is. There's no answer to that question because we can't predict what didn't happen. But pulling over would likely have just caused his death sooner in the day. That's the reality, is that they had the intent to kill him, or else they wouldn't have. And I don't know about him having a gun on him, but everything I've seen said that he was unarmed. And I don't think that if he pulled over, he would be alive. I think he would have been shot earlier. That's what I think would have happened. And I'm going to block the cringe kid because I don't like trolls in my chats. Whenever I say the word troll, I swear one comes up. But last night, someone that was a troll came in and their username was Ahmaud Arbery died, LOL. And this is why we need to continue to fight the fight. There are groups that are demanding justice for the 2 men who murdered Ahmaud. There's, I think the group was Catholics Against Google. There's thousands of people that are all united to get these white men free. That is how white supremacy works. That's why we need to be stronger together, and why we need to continue the fight. That's another one I should have added to the list, is to continue fighting for people that have passed long after they've stopped trending social media. The troll from last night disrupted my peace. That happened to me too. You saw me like screaming because I was pissed off because I literally just said how I felt like this was a safe space, and then a troll came in. Okay, so if there's any other comments, now's the time. But the next journal prompt I wanted to do, I want to hear your opinions because I had like 2 that I wanted to choose between. The first one is list all of your privileges and identify ways to use them to Black people's advantage. So that could be that you live in what would be a privilege that like a lot of people could identify with? It could be that you live in a blue state. That could be one. There's lots of privileges that people don't think of because we usually just think of white privilege, but there's gender privileges, there's race privileges, there's age privileges, there's geographical privileges. So that was one of my questions, if we should do that as a prompt. Okay, regardless of why someone was pulled over, if they were armed, unarmed, we have to remember that people like Dylan Roof were allowed and arrest in fair trial after shooting up a Black church. Exactly. Privilege is a spectrum. This is true. So this is my next question. We can either do the prompt where we identify and like literally list out every single privilege that you have in your life to this day, and then how you can use this privilege to Black people's advantage. Or the next prompt that we could do would be list all of your biases and prejudices and how those shape your thoughts and actions. I'm personally a little bit more partial to acknowledging all of our privileges because I feel as though the people that are watching this, your biases are probably very limited because you are woke folk. So I don't imagine that'll be a very long one. So I'm personally a little more favorable to the first prompt, but I want to hear feedback. This is all about what we want to do together. Hey, I had to dip out of the live because I'm so tired, about to fall asleep, but thanks for doing that. I hope you know that I always love you and support you. Just got a text from someone that was in here. I'd agree that you want to do the first one. Okay, so I feel like it's more positive conversation. Exactly. I feel like it's more uplifting. I feel like it's just like the path I want to go down, but I want to give you guys some options. Okay, so if you're ready, get your paper and then write down the prompt. So the prompt is, so you don't have to write the prompt if you don't want to, but the prompt is to list all of your privileges and list all of the privileges that you have in your life as of today and brainstorm on ways that you can use those to Black people's advantage. So if someone would want to be like a sweetheart and write that in the chat because it's hard for me to type over there, it is prompt, list every privilege you have in your life. I'm writing very messy today. I usually write messy when I'm passionate, so list every privilege you have in your life today and list ways to use them to Black people's advantage. Is there anyone that wants to type that in the group chat? No? Okay. So one last time for the homies. List every privilege you have in your life today and list ways to use them to Black people's advantage. Yes, Erin wrote it. Thank you. Okay. So do you guys feel ready to go? I'm thinking we do the same thing as last time. We do 10 minutes. We check and see if we need more time. So the time is now 10:24. So I'm going to put you guys on mute in a minute and put my own music on. I urge you to do the same if music helps you write better. I just can't share my music because copyright claims. So I'm going to put you on mute, and then we're going to go up until 10:35, and then we'll touch base, see if we want to talk a little bit, see if we want to keep writing, just like the same as last time. So get your pens ready. I'm about to mute you guys, and yeah, start writing. Okay, guys, the time is up. I'm just gonna finish writing the one I was writing, so I urge you to do the same. Okay, let's hear some feedback. I feel like I had enough time for this prompt. I don't feel like I need more time for this prompt. I want to hear how you feel, though. If you want some more time to talk about this, to write about this before we dive into it, please just let me know in the messages. Also, the person that was asking about if he stopped sooner, would he be alive, is claiming they have good intentions and that they were just curious, that these things cannot be avoided. The thing is that it's hard because, like, hypothetically, lots of things can be avoided, but the reality is that they won't be no matter what things are taken. So that's why our response is the way it was. So I want to hear what you guys thought. Do we want to keep going with this prompt? I feel comfortable with the amount of time that we had. I feel like I listed everything I wanted to list. I just want to hear some feedback. Are you guys ready to discuss? Do you want some more time to write? How do you feel? Just let me know. Oops. All right, so the prompt was, list every privilege you have in your life today and list ways to use them to Black people's advantage. So I haven't heard feedback from you guys yet on if you need more time to write or if you feel as though you listed everything. I don't know if the live is delayed or if you guys are just in the middle of writing and haven't heard me quite yet. So just let me know if you need some more time to brainstorm or if you're ready to start sharing what we have on our list. Okay, it's deeper than just racist cops and good cops facts. Our criminal legal system is built on systematic racism. The system itself is oppressive. Therefore, it doesn't really matter how many good cops are good. That's a fact. The thing is, I was watching a stand-up comedy routine. I think it was Chris Brown. I hate Chris Brown. Not Chris Brown, sorry. Chris Rock. And he was saying that, police officers is not a job where we can have any bad ones. If you had a flight attendant, if you had a pilot, and like if we treated pilots the same way we treat cops, if we treated cops the same way we treat pilots, it wouldn't happen. If we had a pilot that, most of the time they're good, but, sometimes they slip up and, crash, we wouldn't allow them to be a pilot in the same sense that we need to do better for what we allow as police officers. That was in response to, yep, I'm all set to share, though. Okay, I've gotten word that we're set to share, so I'm going to read the prompt. The fact that we have to acknowledge that there are some good cops shows the police system is trash. Exactly. Like, that's the thing, is that I was going to mention this earlier, is that I hate. I have someone that comes to mind. And the thing is, like, people have cops in their family. I have an uncle that's a cop, and I have a father who's a cop, but it doesn't mean it's about you. There's always like that one person where you're writing about police brutality and then they come in with that Blue Lives Matters nonsense and they're like, well, my father is an awesome officer and he would never do anything like this. And when you say that cops are bad, it offends my father. You know what? That person that's saying that, you are the problem because you're making this about you when it isn't. It's about Black people that are dying. This isn't about you and your father. So get out of your own world for a second and realize that the issue is that Black people are dying. It's not about if you have a good dad that's a cop. Like, get over yourself. This isn't about you, you privileged person. I hate that argument. I had an uncle in the mafia who was in prison. I'm not going to say he was a good person, LOL. Okay. So, your cop. My dad would read my essays about me shitting on the whole system, and he never gave me shit. Love him. Exactly. All right, so the prompt was, list every privilege you have in your life today and list ways to use them to Black people's advantage. So I'm going to read off what I have, and then after I finish reading, I would like you to put what you had. Okay. And everyone's is going to be different. The last one, we all could have a lot of the same answers, but each of us has different privileges. We do. So, okay. So the ones I listed was being biracial, and the way I can use this is to educate white people. Because I'm biracial, I have light-skinned privilege, and I can use that to the advantage of people that aren't light-skinned. And I can have more conversations with my white family that is ignorant and stuff of that nature. Okay, yeah, sorry. The next one I had was living in a state where I feel safe to protest. That is a right that many of us do not have as Black people. So because of that, I'm going to protest every chance I get. That's what I had written down. And just because it's a blue state doesn't mean it's a safe state to protest. There are places that you can tell if you protest, you're going to get beaten up. You could get killed. And then there's places where the officers will stand there and protect you from the MAGA fans. So Boston, in my experience, is somewhere that I feel safe to protest. And therefore, I will get my butt to more protests when it is available. The next one that I have, and these are some of these that you're going to hear, you're going to think, oh my God, I didn't even think of that as a privilege, because I really tried to question the word privilege in ways that we don't usually think about. The next one that I have is living in a blue state. And I'm going to, and to use that to Black people's advantage, is to go door to door to promote politicians who support Black people. I have volunteered like multiple times for Democratic congressmen and people that are running for mayors that are either Black people or that fight for Black people. And if you live in a state where you feel safe to go door to door or to make those calls or to volunteer, try to volunteer for politicians that care about us. So the next privilege I have is that I have a driver's license. And because of that, something I could do is offer to drive those who need a ride to polls to vote. That's a big one. And I think that you can volunteer to do that in different areas throughout the country on different days, where you basically just spend the whole day picking and dropping people off from the polls, because it's really hard for people to get to polls. And they make it harder and harder because they try to oppress us. Why do you think that we can fill out our taxes and we can apply for unemployment online, but we can't vote online? If they're safe enough to give our social, then why can't we vote? Because they want to oppress us. They don't want us to vote. They want the lower working class that has to work 2 to 3 jobs, that are at work, that can't vote, not to vote. They want to make it as hard as possible for people of color to vote. And if you don't believe me, you need to look more into it, because voter suppression is real. So that's why if you have a driver's license, you don't need to, but I urge you to take the day off from work or whatever you're doing, and after you vote, to volunteer, set up a schedule, figure out a way. Maybe there's an app, maybe I can create some type of system, I don't know, where we can pick people up like an Uber service, people that have licenses, and drop them off to the polls, because we need more people of color to vote and to be able to. What did he say? I'm an able-bodied, cisgendered white woman. Almost every part of my identity is protected and praised in society. I'm a beneficiary of redlining in the legal system. It goes on and on. And voting on Damn Tuesday, and it's a national holiday. And voting on Damn Tuesday, and it's a national holiday. I don't know what that last comment meant about it being a national holiday. Maybe I'm just like not with it. So the next one I had, which again, this is why I challenge you to acknowledge every privilege you have, is being quote unquote pretty or quote unquote beautiful, because, and with that privilege, I am going to defend Black people who aren't viewed that way. You know, they love Rihanna, they love Beyonce, but they don't love that random Black woman that's sitting on the bench over there, because she doesn't have sex appeal. Because if white America loves the idea of masturbating to Black women, but they don't want to defend us. I said it. Voting day is on a Tuesday, and because it's not a national holiday, it needs to be a national holiday, of course. Voting day, maybe we can create a petition to start that, or maybe we can create a petition or find a petition to promote that is promoting voting from home or making voting more accessible in general. So another privilege I have is being in good physical shape / having both of my legs. And with that, I can run with Maud. I walked with Maud today. I did 2.23 miles walking. I ran over 5 miles yesterday, and I plan to do at least 2.23 miles tomorrow, which is a special day for Ahmaud Arbery, because it's Mother's Day, and he was a Mother's Day baby. it's like rigged so that most people who can go to vote are older white people, 120%. Yep. Who have the luxury of leisurely going to the polls. Exactly. That's why we need to do more. We need to show out and help those that can't go to the polls. Maybe we can babysit their kids. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why they can't get there. We need to figure out ways that we can help them to get them to vote. We need to get as many people of color to vote in the next election as we possibly can, as this is one of the most elections of our lives. Okay, the next one says not being quote unquote poor. And I put poor in parentheses because it's a lot of ways to interpret that, but I don't, I'm not poor. Like I'm not broke. You know what I'm saying? So not being poor, which means I can donate even a few bucks when I can to pro-Black funds. So even if it's the amount that you would spend on a coffee, it does help. Okay, the next privilege I have listed is that I have sight. What a privilege. I can see. I'm not blind. With that, I can help blind people. And that's the thing, is that you don't think blind people. Guess what? Black people are in every single community. There are blind Black people. Black people of, like, the Black community is in every single community. So by helping blind people, you are inevitably going to help a Black person. There is an app. I'm going to try to find out what it's called, but I forget what it's called. And it's basically where you donate your time to help blind people do activities. So it's basically like a FaceTime, and then you start describing stuff like, oh, you need to move your hand to the right or whatever. Because blind people that are alone during quarantine, imagine how hard that is to not have any guidance. We need to help blind people. Like, we just need to. I'm going to try to figure out what that app is called, and maybe we could all just try to, like, do it and just see how it is and just try to help a blind person. So the next thing I have is the privilege of hearing. I'm not deaf. While my hearing is not as it should be, I'm far from deaf. I can hear. So with that, excuse me, I had tried to learn American Sign Language. So I took 2 semesters of American Sign Language, and I'm not great at it. I was like an average C student. I know how to sign my name, but I don't know a lot. And it's one of those things that language, it's like you have to keep up with it. And like I was saying about the blind community, the deaf community is inevitably filled with Black people as well. So by learning ASL, you will find yourself able to interact with someone who you were not able to. That is just a fact. I have met someone before, actually, that is Black, that worked with me, who was deaf, who I was able to do some signing with. And it just makes deaf people feel included. You know, the deaf community is really oppressed. And there is a lot of Black people in the deaf community, inevitably. So and here's something that you can do, even when you're just about to like smoke or just do something where you usually just listen to music instead, or as well, just go on Google and type in ASL for beginners. There is endless videos where you can just learn basic signs. And that's the thing, is you don't have to be a pro. Just learning a few signs is doing something. And that's what this is all about, is using every privilege that we have to help everyone, especially Black people. The next privilege I have written down is having Wi-Fi always available at my house. A lot of people have to go to public libraries for Wi-Fi. They don't have the privilege of Wi-Fi. So with that, sharing Black Lives Matters on my timeline and staying up to date is what I had written down. The next privilege I have is having available time. I mean, right now, I think a lot of people have more available time than they ever have before. So volunteer. You can volunteer to do phone calls in honor of Ahmaud Arbery. You can volunteer to do a lot of things from home right now. The next one I had on my list was having a laptop and phone. That's a privilege for sure. And with that, I said to call/email our local representatives on a regular basis. The next one I had is having artistic ability, which I guess I'm identifying as a privilege because I'm not going to be naive. I know that I have an arts degree. I know that I am able to create art. So with that, create art that promotes the change you want to see in the world. Signing can help a wide range of people too. Yeah, for sure. The next one is being able to read. So many. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, American Sign Language isn't just for the deaf community. It helps a lot of people. So learning sign language can help way more people than you can even fathom. So the next one, being able to read. So many of our ancestors were not allowed to read, and by ours, I mean Black people, because they knew that if we learned to read, we would revolt against slavery, and they wouldn't allow us to read. even as females in our past, we weren't allowed to read. So just being able to read in this time. And with that, I'm going to read Black work in literature, make an active decision to choose a Black author's book and to buy it and to support them. Having both of my arms. Look at that. I'm lucky. I got 2 arms. So with that, I can do Black Power Fist. Look at that, 2 Black Power Fists. But when you go out and you're at a rally, you can put your, I mean, you can't see it because my fist is up here, but you can put your Black Power Fist up. We have both of our hands, do the Black Power Fist. If you're white and you're at a Black rally and you don't feel like it's offensive, do the Black Power Fist. I mean, I don't think it's offensive when people do it. I just think it's offensive when it's ironic, obviously. Okay, the next privilege I have is having an education and being educated. And with that, I can educate others. The next one I have is, excuse me, 69 Tanashi got a new video out. I literally hate him. Please stop trolling. He is disgusting. He is a snitch. Don't talk about him in my video. I'm blocking you. Stop snitching. All right, hide user. Okay, the next one that I got is that I have money to attend events. I go to a lot of concerts on a regular basis. Not on a regular basis, but I used to before coronavirus. I used to go to like a concert or a couple concerts every month, and I go to sporting events because I lived in the city. So basically, if you have money to attend events, you can protest during the national anthem. And this is one that I know people are going to be less open to doing because it is harder, because you will get double looked at. You might have someone tell you it's disrespectful, but you know what? We need to protest. You need to either sit down during the national anthem, go on one knee, or not put your hand over your heart. And there's different levels to comfort. And where I'm at right now as a Black American is to not put my hand over my heart. I just stand there and I just kind of look down. And that's where I'm at. But if you feel so comfortable to stay seated during the national anthem, stay seated. Because we aren't all free. And we need to protest the national anthem. But yeah, that is everything that I had in my list of privileges from this brainstorming session. If you know me personally and know a privilege that I missed, please tell me. And also, please start listing your own privileges and how you can use those to advocate for Black people and to empower Black people and to defend Black people. So that was everything I had on my list. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And I know this can be kind of personal, but I already told you my personal part, so, return the favor. And I think that the most underrated one that I put on there that I think usually gets ignored is the being pretty privilege, because as Black women, if you are viewed as attractive or sexually attractive or whatever, people are nicer to you. And if you aren't, they resent you for not being eye candy. So we need to defend Black women that don't get the pretty privilege, or just like everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, this goes farther than just Black people, but I'm just saying Black people because Black lives are the most in danger right now. Oh, all right, you guys, time to share. What did you have? What did you have on your lists? What privileges did you identify? How can you use them? This is what this is all about, and I hope that you guys feel that this is actually serving you, because this is serving me, just identifying my privileges and just kind of reminding myself of how I can actively use those privileges to help others that don't have that privilege, because we so often ignore what we can do for others because we don't take the time to reflect. And that's why we need to reflect, so that we can really look at our lives and say, hey, I can be doing a lot more, and I can be going on a path that empowers Black people and that keeps them safer. So yeah, no one's talking in the chat. Please comment what one privilege was that you identified that I didn't list, and how you can use that to help Black people, to Black people's advantage. I wonder if I press refresh, what's going to happen. Hopefully nothing bad. I kind of want to see if the chat's lagging. Okay, I'm not going to press refresh, actually. So someone write something in the chat, because the chat is dwindling, and this is a conversation. This isn't a lecture, so I really want you guys to interact with me. So go ahead. Don't be shy. Not all at once. Okay, Erin said hi. Erin, can you please acknowledge one of your privileges? Okay, you actually did acknowledge yours, so I can't get on you. But everyone, please, this is supposed to be a conversation, not a lecture, so please interact in the chat and tell me what you wrote. I mean, this is why we're doing this. I want to hear what you guys identified, how you can use that to other people's advantage. Yeah, so let's see. Olivia said just listening. LOL. I don't know if that means that you are only listening and that you don't want to write. Oh, I think that is because you said you were eating dinner or something like that. All right. If no one wants to share what they wrote for the prompt, I guess we will move on. IDK, if you said this, but college education. Yeah, I did touch on that one. Just how we have an education so we can use that to educate others. And this doesn't always mean educating ignorant people. It can mean literally educating people, like volunteering as an after-school tutor in a predominantly Black area, things of that nature. We can educate and we can be tutors. We can help people that are struggling academically. And that's a big thing, is that I think a lot of people that are in predominantly Black areas tend to not finish their high school degree, or they don't tend to, but there is a higher percentage. And a lot of that, I think, is affiliated with gang violence and a lot of different reasons. But I think that helping more Black people gain their college degree or their GED, and maybe even just being a helpful tutor or in any sense like that, is a great way to use that privilege of education. So yeah, those were the privileges that we identified, and now we can use them to Black people's advantage. I feel like this was pretty conclusive. I feel like I've learned new ways that I can apply myself to helping Black people feel safe and to keeping them alive, or trying to keep them alive. Do you guys feel as though this has been useful? I just want to hear your feedback about the whole journaling for justice live, and just what you guys are thinking right now. Just let me know. Yes. I don't know if my chat's delayed, but I also want to know if you guys want to do another prompt, or if you want to call it, because I honestly feel indifferent. I feel like I could end here and feel accomplished. I feel like we could also go further if there is a desire, but I don't think that we need to force ourselves to go further tonight, as we are still mourning Sean Reed, and we're still mourning, and we're still experiencing these things. We don't want to burn out. So I feel comfortable going either way. I just need feedback from you. Do we want to do another prompt or not? Definitely enjoy the conversation. So just let me know what you guys think. Should we do another prompt? Are you comfortable leaving it here? My brain is dwindling down a bit. Yeah, I feel like we've kind of like hit our peak for tonight for the brainstorm. So let's see. I think group brainstorming is great. Oh, I'm glad you think so. I've never done it in this format, and I've never done it for Black Lives Matter. And I think that we need to keep doing this. Journaling for justice. Journaling, #journaling 4 justice. Please use the hashtag. I would love to continue this and make this a slightly regular thing where we journal for justice. This was fulfilling. Thank you. Yay! I'm glad to hear it. Thank you guys for journaling with me. So how I want to end this ritual tonight, I think maybe calling it a night. Yeah, copyright that. Copyright journaling for justice. Yeah, I would if I had money to copyright. So we addressed a lot. Yeah, I think we did. So how I want to end tonight, I want to touch over a few things. First of all, if you You don't need to share your privileges list with me because that is personal and that is just for you. That was the purpose of that. Was for it to be for you. But the first prompt we did about listing everything we can do, even if you mostly repeated what I did, I really want you to send me a picture of your lists because I want to create a master list from this live that we can all look back on. I like that we went outside of just the prompts. Yeah, you should lead a class for this, like community center. Oh, that would be cool. Let's talk about that more later. I'd be into that. So basically what I want to say is to please send me your lists for the first prompt so I can create a master's list and then I will send it to everyone. And sorry if I sound like I'm shaking. It's like very cold in my attic right now. And I think that what we need to do to end this ritual tonight is we're going to do two things. I'm going to dim the light over there, and then we will take 5 minutes of silence. 5 minutes is not a lot when you think about the fact that he will never get to enjoy another minute of his life. So we'll take 5 minutes of silence together to meditate over the unjust death of Sean Reed. We'll meditate for our love for him, to keep his legacy going, and to fight for him. So I'm going to turn off the light. We're going to do 5 minutes. And then after that, I'm going to give you guys 2 songs for homework to do to end the ritual at home. For those of you that didn't watch last night, how we end it is we do the meditation, and then we do the songs. And I would prefer to end the way we did last night, where I told you the songs ahead of time. So I'm going to tell you guys 2 songs right now, and I'm expecting Erin or Olivia, because I can depend on you to write in the chat, to type these songs in the chat for everyone. So in this order, the second that we complete the 5 minutes of silence in memory of Sean Reed, I want you to look up the song Blue Lights by Georgia Smith. That is the first song that we're going to listen to. And this is the thing, that we can't listen to this on live because of copyright claims. So as soon as this ends, I want you to do nothing else but to listen to these 2 songs, and that completes the ritual. So we're just going to listen to those 2 songs back to back, no interruptions, no texting, in honor of the 2 men that have passed, Ahmaud Arbery and Sean Reed. So the first song that we're going to listen to is Blue Lights by Georgia Smith. The second song that we're going to listen to is called The Lord is Coming by Her, H-E-R, capital letters, periods in between. The Lord is Coming. I personally prefer the adaptation with just her, but there's also an adaptation that's only on Spotify that has another rapper in it as well. I personally urge you to do the one that is on YouTube that is just her. So the song is The Lord is Coming by H-E-R. So if you want to take this time right now, I literally just realized I was like a minute behind. Sorry, LOL. So when I end this, the chats will disappear. You have your journal, so please take a minute right now. I'm going to do it to write those 2 songs down in your journal. So the first song is called Blue Lights. I mean, I already know them, but I'm just writing it. Blue Lights by Georgia Smith. And the second song is called The Lord is Coming. Oh, thank you for liking my suggestions. I mean, I really appreciate it. The Lord is Coming. And you want to do the version that's just by her, not the one that has a male rapper in it as well. By her. So make sure you have those 2 songs written down. What we're going to do now, I'm going to turn off the light. I'm going to come over. And then we're going to start our 5 minutes of meditation. And how they will end, you will see me blowing out the candles and then ending the live. And that, I'm going to keep this one candle going, though, because this is the one that's attributed to him. So I'm going to keep this going until I complete my songs. But once we do our 5 minutes, I'm going to blow out these candles. I'm going to end the live. We're all going to listen to collectively the song Blue Lights by Georgia Smith, and then the song The Lord is Coming by her, in that order. We're not going to get distracted by text. We're not going to do anything else except for listen to those songs. And then I want you to text me, to message me how you felt about those songs and what those songs brought up to you. And that is how we will conclude tonight's ritual. Thank you all so much for being part of this. This is bigger than all of us. That's why we need to do our part. We need to come together. We need to brainstorm. We need to make active changes. That's all we have to do. And we need to speak up more. So without further ado, I'm going to start the 5 minutes meditation. This is likely going to end at 11:10. You have to do those 2 songs as homework, and then you're going to tell me about them, okay? And I didn't do an angel card reading for you guys tonight. when you send me how you felt about those songs, if you want me to pull an angel card for you, just let me know.